Hello, Simmers. We're back with some more Draft to Glory franchise mode with the Cocytus River Rats in FHM 11. And in this one, we're going through year number 9, coming off of year number 8, where we did make the playoffs for the first time. However, it did not end well. We got outed in the first round by the New Jersey Devils, so we still got plenty of work to do, but we're getting better at this point. We have Andreev, who is a 4.5-star ability, Bouchard and McKenna, who are 4-star abilities, plenty of 3.5-star abilities as well. And then, of course, you also have Christian Zerker, who is coming into the league this year, 2-star ability, 4-star potential, and then Blake Baxter, of course, as well, at that 1.5-star ability, 4.5-star potential. So a lot of potential on this team. And a lot of stuff to look forward to. I think with that, we'll get straight into the year 9 simulation here, as we did do the offseason in the last one, so let's get straight into this. All right, so we're at the end of the preseason here, making some roster cuts, and I think one guy we could probably move on from is Ryan Brown. He's 24 years of age at this point, 2.5-star ability, and he hasn't really been doing great, especially as of late. Last season only had 7 points in 48 games played. His first season in the NHL was pretty good, 35 points in 77 games played, but he hasn't really lived up to that ever since. So I think I will shop him and see what we can get. We can get a second-round pick for him. That's pretty good. And then I think I'm going to send down Zerker to the AHL for right now. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything better for Brown, so we may as well just flip him for that second-round pick. Could trade him to Boston, could trade him to Dallas, LA, Philly, St. Louis. There's quite a few teams who want him for a second-round pick. Washington as well. I think I'll send him to St. Louis. They had a pretty bad record last year, 35, 42, and 5. So that should be a pretty high second-round pick, accept offer. And with that, we're now down to 23 players on the roster. So we currently have Kadachev and Frolov in goal. On defense, you have Bouchard, Pellizzari, Elefson, Kotyarvi, Hakanson, Baxter, and Krivenek. And at forward, you have Andreev, McKenna, Vananen, Stenberg, Spelkvist, Carlson, Neuenschwander, Frollo, Hermanson, or Anisimowicz, Denoye, Kapustin, and Wotherspoon. Oh, first major injury of the year, Pellizzari down 2 to 3 weeks. Another major injury we have, Hermanson down 1 to 2 months. Major injury for Neuenschwander, 2 to 3 weeks. All right, we're here on January 1st, roughly halfway through the season. We are 29, 14, and 7. Good enough for first in the division and second in the league. So everything's looking pretty good. I don't see any reason why we need to stop the simulation here. However, I do want to extend some of our players before we finish off this season. So you have Stenberg, or Kadachev, Murnieks, Larson, Lavrov, Kotyarvi, Hakanson, and Krivenek. So Stenberg, he wants 6.8 for 3 years. I mean, I would say he's worth that. He's got 40 points so far in 48 games played this year. Certainly a deserved contract. I will start at 5.9 for him. And I got him down to 6.29 for 3 years. As for Tyson Orr, he currently has 27 points on the season in 49 games played. Matches his point total from last year total. So he looks to have a career year so far. He wants 3.1 for 5 years. Sounds good to me. And I got him down to 2.91 for 5 years. And now Kadachev. So he's at a 3-star ability now, 4.5-star potential, 911 save percentage so far in 28 games played. Of course, he has been very good so far throughout his career. Unfortunately, during the playoffs last year, he did not do as well as I hoped he would. 870 save percentage in 5 games played. But overall, Kadachev has been very good. So I have no reason to not consider resigning him here. Yeah, he wants 6.6 for 4 years. I mean, that's a little expensive as far as goalies go, but I'd say he's worth it. He's certainly proved, at least so far, that he's worth that kind of money. I mean, normally I don't like to do this kind of thing for goaltenders, but like I said, he's been very good so far. And I got him down to 6.06 for 4 years. Now you have Lavrov, Murnieks, and Larson. They're all in the AHL. So I can't imagine they'd be wanting too much. Lavrov wants 1.5 effectively. Murnieks 2.2. Not going to do that. I think I'll just auto-qualify him. And then Larson 1.5. I think I'll just auto-qualify all those AHLers for now. And then Kotyarvi, he wants 6.5 for 1 year. I don't know. That's a bit much. Luckily, we can auto-qualify him, but that's not something I'm keen on signing right now. Hakanson, I'll auto-qualify him. What does he want? He wants 4.5. It's not great for a 2-star ability who's only getting a 57 defensive grade. Then you have Krivenek, who wants 1 mil for 3 years. That is a great deal for him. And then I'll get the rest of these guys auto-qualified as well. Okay, so with all of our big players extended, I think it's time to advance through the rest of the regular season. Oh, a constant down 2-3 weeks. And it just so happens that those 2-3 weeks are during February where we have I assume the Olympic break. So I suppose if there's a such thing as a well-timed injury, that'd be it. And here we are at the end of the regular season of year number 9. We have finished 54, 19, and 9. Good enough for first in the division and second in the league, right behind the Vegas Golden Knights. So let's take a look at the player stats here and see who did what this season. So in goal, you have Kachev in 50 games played with a .917 save percentage and 3 shutouts, and Frolov in 36 games played with a .925 save percentage and 4 shutouts. So everything's looking good in goal as always for this team, which is, if there's anything this team has been good at throughout the majority of this series, it's been goaltending, which I'm not used to in this game. This is fantastic. I love it. And skater-wise, you have Andreev leading the way with 98 points, 37 goals, and then Spellquist with 93. And then you have Bouchard with 78, McKenna with 65. I believe that is a career high for him, or at the very least, he's back to where he was before. Yeah, he's back to where he was prior to moving to center. I think he still is a center, but he is finally back to where he was in his first couple of seasons there. Then you have Caleb Denoye with 57 points. I believe that is also a career high for him. So everyone doing very well this year and seeing some career years here. You have Stenberg with 52 points, Vananen and Elofsson with 50, or with 49. I believe that is also a career high. Yes, indeed. Then you have Carlson with 47, Baxter with 42 in his sophomore season. He's up to a 2.5-star talent now. Then you have Neuenschwander at 34, Wotherspoon with 33, Pelazari with 29, Hakanson with 26, Anisimowicz with 23, Kutayarvi with 20, Hermanson with 16, Krivenek with 10, Kapustin with 7, and Frollo with 4. So yeah, this roster is looking really good now. I mean, we've done a lot of building over the years and it's finally starting to pay off, it seems. But of course, the real test is to see what we can do in the playoffs this year with this roster. But before we get into the playoffs, let's take a look at the team stats. Goals for per game, we finished first in the league with a 3.88. Goals against per game, we finished second in the league with a 2.79. Faceoffs, we finished 8th in the league with a 51%. Power play, we finished 12th in the league with a 19.4. Penalty kill, we finished 17th in the league with an 81%. So special teams are a little weaker than I thought they'd be, but overall, very solid. Very solid team, very solid year overall. And to start out these playoffs, we will be facing the 42, 34, and 6 Detroit Red Wings. So let's get right into it. All right, here we go. Game 1 against Detroit. And I just realized I forgot to fix the logo. That'll be a 3-0 win over the Detroit Red Wings for your Cocytus River Rats. Shots are 37-35 in favor of Detroit. 3 stars of the game are Kachev with the shutout, Andreev, and Hakanson. First period, you have Kutayarvi scoring from Hakanson and Andreev to make it 1-0. Second period, no scoring. Third period, McKenna scores from Andreev and Spellquist, and then Vananen on the empty net from Bouchard, and Stenberg makes it the 3-0 Cocytus victory. All right, here we go. Game number 2. That will be a 4-2 Detroit victory this time. Shots are 46-26 in favor of Detroit. 3 stars of the game, Pelosi, Carlson, and Raymond. First period, you have Blake Baxter scoring from Orr and Carlson to make it 1-0, but then it's Jack Parrott for Detroit to make it 1-1. And in the second period, where it's Rocco Pelosi to make it 2-1, but that's Milos Spellquist from Elofsson and Andreev to make it 2-2. But in the third period, it's Detroit with 2 goals from Harvey and Wahlberg to make it a 4-2 Detroit victory. All right, here we go. Game number 3. That will be a 6-4 Detroit victory. Shots are 42-29 in favor of Detroit. 3 stars of the game are Cleveland, McKenna, and Koster. First period, you have Milos Spellquist getting things started from McKenna and Andreev to make it 1-0, but then it's Max Graham for Detroit to make it 1-1. Then you have Gavin McKenna from Baxter and Pelazari to make it 2-1, but then it's Danielson and Liskey for Detroit to make it 3-2 heading to the second period, where there's 2 more goals for Detroit from Cleveland and Kakinen to make it 5-2, heading into the third period, where it's Kapustin from Hermanson and Anisimowicz to make it 5-3. Ben Harvey scores to make it 6-3, and then Dade Wotherspoon late in the period from Orr and Frollo to make it a 6-4 Detroit victory. So we're now down 2-1 in the series, and we need to get a victory here in game number 4 for sure. All right, here we go. That will be a 3-0 Cocytus victory. That's what you like to see. Shots are 30 apiece. 3 stars of the game are Kachev with the shutout, Orr and Wotherspoon. First period, no scoring. Second period, Anisimov gets things started from Hermanson and Orr to make it 1-0. And then third period, you have Aiden Bouchard with his first of the playoffs from Wotherspoon and Orr. And then Wotherspoon on the empty net from Orr and Ellefson to make it a 3-0 Cocytus victory. All right, here we go. Game number 5. Get the victory here. That'll be a 2-0 Detroit victory. Shots are 36-27 in favor of Cocytus. 3 stars of the game are Wolf, Baxter, and Masse. First period, no scoring. Second period, Masse with the goal for Detroit to make it 1-0. And then Wahlberg gets the 2-0 victory for Detroit. And we're now down 3-2 in the series. We have to win 2 in a row here. Come on, guys. Elimination game number 6. Let's get right to it. And that'll be a goal right off the bat for Lucas Raymond. Not good. All right, but there's one for us. Caleb Denoye from Stenberg and Bouchard. But there's a goal for Detroit. Masse hit with his second of the series. Makes it 2-1. And there's 2-2. Gavin McKenna with a goal from Wotherspoon and Neuenschwander. And then 3-2. We're going back and forth here. Lucas Raymond with the goal. Puts Detroit on top heading into the second period. The shots are currently 21-7. That's not looking good. Oh, man. Okay, there's a goal for Elton Hermanson from Anisimov and Bouchard to make it 3-3, but they are out shooting us by more than triple currently as we head into the locker room in the third period, 32-12 of the current shots on net. What are we doing out there? I mean, I know we have 3 goals, but we really should be putting on more offensive pressure here, guys. Come on. All right, there it is, 4-3. With the goal by Caleb Denoye from Stenberg and Pellizzari. Get me another one. Oh, man. Peyton Kettles with the goal for Detroit to make it 4-4. 5-4 Detroit. Pelosi with the goal. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. There's one. Milo Spelkvist with the goal from Bouchard and Orr with 1:39 remaining in the third. And we are headed to overtime. Come on, guys. Get it done. There it is. Neuenschwander with the overtime goal. And we are headed to a game 7. Shots are 47-30 in favor of Detroit. 3 stars of the game are Bouchard with 3 assists, Pelosi, and Stenberg. Ooh, Vannon out for the rest of the playoffs. He has a detached retina 2 to 3 months, so we're going to be missing him for sure. All right, here we go. Game number 7, elimination game 7, and the logo taking up a good chunk of the ice there still. Like I said, I forgot to fix that. I'll try to remember for the next one. All right, here we go. And that'll be a goal right off the bat. 8 seconds in for Pelosi of Detroit to make it 1-0. There's a goal for Orr to make it 1-1 from Spelkvist and Bouchard. Come on, guys. There it is. 2-1. Blake Baxter from Wotherspoon and Pellizzari. And that'll be it for 1. Give me another one here. There it is. Igor Kapustin with the goal from Andreev and Pellizzari. Oh, we have another one. Orr from Carlson and Wotherspoon to make it 4-1 heading into the third period. Hold on. Yes, let's go. We win our first playoff round against the Detroit Red Wings, and we are off to round number 2. Shots are 38-26 in favor of Cocytus. 3 stars of the game are Orr, Wotherspoon, and Pellizzari. And in the second round, we have the 44-34-4 Toronto Maple Leafs. So let's get right into it. Game number 1 sim game. That will be a 5-2 Cocytus victory. Shots are 34-28 in favor of Cocytus. 3 stars of the game are Andreev, Pellizzari, and Ellefson. First period, you have Frollo with his first goal of the playoffs from Anisimov and Ellefson to make it 1-0. Then you have Orr from Carlson and Kotiarvi to make it 2-0. Zibuiam for Toronto to make it 2-1. But then it's Andreev on the power play with his first goal of the playoffs from Pellizzari and McKenna to make it 3-1 heading in the second period, where you have Gauthier scoring for Toronto to make it 3-2. But then in the third period, you have Aiden Bouchard on the power play from Pellizzari and Andreev, and then Neuenschwander from Ellefson and Denoye to make it a 5-2 Cocytus victory. Here we go, game number 2. And we have a 3-2 Toronto victory. Shots are 38-32 in favor of Cocytus. 3 stars of the game are McQueen, Bouchard, and Vinny. First period, Roger McQueen with the goal for Toronto to put them up 1-0. And then you have McQueen with another one, and then Velarde to make it 3-0 Toronto heading into the third period, where Kotiarvi scores from Neuenschwander and Stenberg. And then you have McKenna from Bouchard and Andreev to make it interesting at 3-2, but unfortunately, it was too little too late for us, and we are tied at 1 in the series. Here we go, game number 3 will be a 3-2 Toronto victory once again. Shots are 33-27 in favor of Toronto. 3 stars of the game are Buiam, Hakanson, and Goguen. First period, Tyson Goguen with the goal for Toronto to get things started, but then it's Andreev with the second of the playoffs from Hakanson and McKenna to make it 1-1 heading into the second period, where it's Orr from Wotherspoon and Pellizzari to make it 2-1, but then it's Buiam with the goal to make it 2-2 heading into the third, where there's no scoring, so we have to go to overtime, where Nash Coquet gets the goal for Toronto, and they get a 2-1 series lead. Here we go, game number 4. Come on, guys. That'll be a 3-2 Cocytus victory. That's what you'd like to see. Shots are 33-30 in favor of Toronto. 3 stars of the game are McKenna, Finley, and Spelkvist. First period, you have Milo Spelkvist on the power play from Andreev and McKenna to make it 1-0. Second period, you have Tanner Melendic with the goal for Toronto to make it 1-1. But then it's Neuenschwander from Hakansen and Denoye to make it 2-1 heading into the third period, where it's McKenna from Spelkvist and Andreev to make it 3-1. And then Nash Coquet with the goal for Toronto to make it 3-2. But that was it for the game, and we are now tied at 2 in the series. Here we go, game number 5. We have a 5-4 Cocytus victory. Let's go. Shots are 44-43 in favor of Toronto. 3 stars again, Pellizzari, Matthews, and McKenna. First period, Matthew Hilderman gets things started for Toronto to make it 1-0, but then it's Andreev with back-to-back goals for us. The first on the power play from Bouchard and McKenna, the second even strength from Pellizzari and Denoye to make it 2-1 heading in the second period, where it's Baxter with the goal from McKenna and Pellizzari to make it 3-1. Then you have Toronto with back-to-back goals to make it tied at 3 from Melendic and Katsarov, but then it's Stenberg from Wotherspoon and Baxter to make it 4-3 heading into the third period, where Zeev Buiam scores on the power play to make it 4-4, and we need overtime, where Louis Carlson scores from Anisimowicz to give us the 3-2 series lead. Come on, guys. Elimination game 6. End it right here, Cocytus. Let's go to the third round, and there's a goal for Toronto. Tyson Goguen gets things started for them. All right, we're down by 1 ahead of the second period. We're out shooting them, though, and there's a goal for Orr from Kotiarvi and Spelkvist to make it 1-1. But there's 2-1. Georgios Pentalis with the goal for Toronto. And that will be it for 2. We are down by 1 heading into the third period. And there's 1 for Toronto as Goguen scores his second of the game to make it 3-1. And will that be it? Come on, guys. Yep, that'll be it. And we're headed to game 7. Shots are 26-25 in favor of Toronto. 3 stars of the game are Buiam, Spelkvist, and Marner. Here we go. Time for game 7. We have round 3 on the line. And there's a goal right off the bat for Nash Coquet to make it 1-0 Toronto. Come on, guys. And that'll be a scoreless first period for Cocytus River Rats. Not what you like to see. And there's our first goal of the game early in the second period from Andreev from Bouchard and Ellefson to make it 1-1. And there's 2-1. Roger McQueen for Toronto. And then 3-1. Matthew Hilderman extends their lead. And then Austin Matthews gets them up by 3. So it's now 4-1 heading into the third period. Not looking good. Come on, Cocytus. Get things started here in the early in the third period. That's not happening, is it? Nope. Austin Matthews with another one to make it 5-1, and that'll be just about it. Unfortunate. We made progress this year for sure. We definitely made progress, but definitely sucks to be eliminated in that fashion after going up 3-2 in this series. So before we end things off, let's take a look at the playoff stats here. Katachev in 14 games played had a .916 save percentage and 2 shutouts. So you can't really blame Katachev here. He was for certain much better than he was last year during the playoffs. Last year he had an .870 in 5 games played. This year in 14 games played, he had a .916. Then skater-wise, you have Andreev with 14 points in 14 games played. McKenna and Orr with 11. Then you have Bouchard with 10. Pellizzari with 9. Spelkvist and Wotherspoon with 8. Neuenschwander, Baxter, Kotiarvi, Denoye, Stenberg, Anisimowicz, and Ellefson all with 5. Then you have Carlson and Hermanson with 4, Hakansen with 3, Kapustin with 2, Frollo with 2, and then Vananen with 1 in 6 games played. Of course, he did have that major injury as well. And then Krivonek with nothing in 2 games played. So once again, a very unfortunate way to end off this season. But I think we did make a lot of progress this year, and we're only looking up, it seems, with the Cocytus River Rats. But this has been a very eventful episode already, so I think with that, we will end things off here. But now, of course, before I thank the channel members, thank you guys so much for all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.